is your relationship with time? Are you wired and tired, stressed and overwhelmed, busy and going nowhere? Or just want to scale your business? Welcome to Take Back Time with your host, Penny Zenker. Penny focuses on books, strategies, tools, and tips to help you work smarter and approach your time more strategically. As a result, you can have more energy, focus, and get more done in less time. Be more efficient and effective. Get ready to take back time.
Hello and welcome to Take Back Time. My name is Penny Zenker. And today I am super excited to talk about getting rid of the clutter because I have to admit, yes, I'm a productivity expert, but I have same challenges and struggles as everyone else. And clutter is something that right now I'm committed to do my spring cleaning. So we have Jennifer Ford-Berry with us today, and I'm super excited. She is an organizational expert, a best-selling author, and the host of the 29-Minute Mom podcast. She's a national speaker and a promoter of God's plan. Her book series include Organize Now, a week-by-week guide to simplify your space and your life. Organize Now, your money, business, and career. Organize Now, Think and Live Clutter-Free. Organize Now, so get the theme here, guys. 12-month home and activity planner, and Purpose Over Possessions, which is coming out, I think, this year. So that's super exciting. More books and more revisions, and you'll talk about that. And we'll let you introduce the rest of that. Welcome, 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 welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So clutter, obviously the Organize Now, it covers every part of our lives. I want to ask you about you too, but this is like on my mind. Why is staying organized such a challenge and struggle for so many people?
Really, if I had to narrow it down to one answer, I would say too much stuff. I mean, we really do have too much stuff. And I like to say that everything you own takes up some amount of STEM, which is your space, time, energy, and money. And so the more things you add into your life, the more space, time, energy, and money you're giving to it, and the less you have left for yourself. So that's where we get super, super overwhelmed.
I resemble that remark.
I hear that a lot.
So tell us, how did you get, are you really super freakishly organized, or how did you come into this Organize Now theme and passion?
It's funny because I went to college and I thought that, I wanted to work in advertising and marketing in corporate America. And after I was in that realm for a few years, I became a mom. And after that happened, I kind of was in this place where I wasn't excited to wake up every single day and just do the daily grind. I was like, if I'm going to do this for 30 plus years, I've got to have a little bit more passion for it. So I started to ask myself, what am I passionate about the most? And I went through this whole book called Do What You Love and the Money Will Come. And it kept asking me questions that made me look internally and figure out what were my gifts, what made me excited. And I really realized that I was totally into organizing since I was about 5 years old. I would go to my grandmother's house and ask her if I could organize her jewelry, her medicine cabinet, her drawers, anything. And she would let me. I loved organizing my room. My parents never told me to do it. I could see space clearly, and I thought rearranging it to be more efficient was actually super fun. So that's when I decided to make it a business.
Isn't it cool how our gifts really do show up at a really young age? It's just a matter of whether we're listening or not.
Absolutely. I 100% agree.
That is cool. And what I love is that you're great at that and someone else is not great at that, right? So they need what you have. And that's what makes us sort of when they say it takes a village, not just to raise your kids, but it takes a village to be the best person that we can be because we have our skill set and we're complemented by each other with each other's skill sets.
Absolutely. And everybody has their gifts. Until I became a professional organizer, I didn't realize that other people didn't think organizing was fun. And I didn't know that people struggled with it. And I think that it's something that you either are good at automatically when you're born, or you just can learn how to do it just like anything else. So my goal is to teach the people I work with how to learn how to organize their life in a way that brings them more joy and peace, and so that they can enjoy their space more, not feel stressed out at home, not feel overwhelmed, but actually feel peace and joy when they get there, and then be able to use that extra energy and the extra time to do something that will give back to others. So it's really a full circle teaching for me.
Well, this is perfect timing. We're heading into spring, right? So what are some important clutter tips for the spring cleaners that are getting ready to clear out some of all that stuff?
Yeah. And I'm doing the same thing right now. I actually love this time of year because I feel like it's a fresh start. My biggest pieces of advice are pretty simple. Number one, you want to go space by space, and you want to break that space down into as small of an area that you can handle. So maybe, for example, you decide, okay, I'm going to start with my kitchen. I'm going to get my kitchen spring cleaned. But you don't have 4 hours to spend on a Saturday doing your kitchen. So you want to break it down even more and to say, today I'm going to do kitchen cupboards, or even today I'm going to do 3 kitchen cupboards. And really don't cut corners, the top from the bottom, sideways and back, clean it out. And this is the second part. Ask yourself for everything that's in there, do I love this and do I use this? Those are the 2 questions I tell everybody to ask, because you're either going to keep something because you love it and makes you happy, or you're going to keep something because you use it. It might not be your favorite thing in the world. Maybe you wish you had something better, but you use it a lot. So those are the 2 main questions to ask yourself.
That's awesome. And I want to kind of just relate. And that's why you've got books that talk about in our mindset and about money, right? And about different things, because clutter and the approach to clutter is applicable everywhere. These strategies are really important. So when we talk about time management or anything that people feel overwhelmed in attacking, right? The first thing they're going to do is procrastinate, because they're going to go, oh my God, I can't clean this kitchen. It takes too long. So that concept of breaking it down, as simple as it is so important and key to keep people from getting overwhelmed and procrastinating. How do you, like somebody who automatically goes into that like procrastination mode or overwhelm mode, how do you get them to focus on that? Because we forget about those things, right? In the moment.
I think procrastination is the easy way out. And if you want to have a better life, there's things that you have to do in order to achieve it. And you might not always like those tasks. So I think the better thing to do is stop wasting your thoughts and your time and your energy going over and over in your mind how much you don't want to do something, and just put it on the calendar, set a timer, and get it done, because you don't realize the procrastinating part of your brain just takes away energy that you could be using for something else. And if you will be okay with a timer that you set, like say, for example, you have 30 minutes. The trick is, especially with women, is when that timer goes off, you have to be okay with what you accomplished in 30 minutes. If your brain immediately goes to what you didn't do,
right,
you've already beaten yourself down. Like,
and then you're not going to do it again, right?
You're not going to do it.
Who wants that beating a second time?
Yeah. Put on some music, light a candle, make it fun. Think about all the calories you're burning. Just get it done, because you're going to feel so much better after you do it, that it's not worth procrastinating. It's just not worth it.
Let's talk about, because I think even if people just walk away with this one thing, right, is to set that timer and break it down and go through room by room and piece by piece. What else is it costing them, right? So that they can really understand that they're avoiding a pain, but the pain is greater if they continue to procrastinate it.
Yes. I mean, clutter costs us so much, besides the fact that it costs you money and space and all those things.
How does it cost us money? Like, tell me about that. Because they're going, it doesn't cost me any money.
Yeah, it costs you money. Because for one, you will go out and buy something you already have because you don't know you have it or you can't find it. When you don't have like things together, which is part of organizing, the 2 rules of organizing are everything you own needs a home and like things together. So for example, let's say gift bags. If you have gift bags stored in 5 different nooks and crannies of your home, and it comes time to wrap a gift for somebody and you don't have the right size bag because it's not in this location, you have no idea that it's over here in this location. So what do? You're in a hurry, you run to the store, you buy a new one. It happens with so many things. And also, I can't tell you how many times I've helped people get organized and they have found cash, they have found checks, they have found things, gift cards. People waste so much money on gift cards and gift certificates that expire because they don't know where they are. I could go on about the money part. The other thing you're wasting is energy. If you were to stare at a little cluttered area in your home right now for 5 minutes and take a note of how it's making you feel, I guarantee you're feeling maybe inadequate, embarrassed, ashamed, annoyed, tired, overwhelmed, and then you tidy it up, you get rid of things, and now it's just focusing on a couple things that you love, your energy boosts way up. You feel better about yourself internally. It's so psychological. I don't even think people realize the gift that you're giving yourself by just getting your home organized.
I think they really don't. And that's why I really wanted you to go into it, because it's so easy to tell ourselves that excuse that, oh, it's fine, right? All the things that we tolerate in our life, it's just another example of tolerating things that pull us down.
Yeah. And mediocrity. I mean, really.
Mediocrity.
Yeah, it really is. It's within our power to do this action to make our home a better place for our entire family, not just us. Or if you're talking about time, to get a schedule down that is going to make you the most productive and efficient you can be. I mean, it's worth it. You're just not living your best life if you're not taking care of these things. And one of the things I love to talk about, really I'm passionate about, is stewardship. I feel like when you don't take care of the home you've been given, you don't make the most of the time you've been given, then you're not being a good steward. And that usually gets people's attention, because why should we be blessed with more if we're not taking care of what we have already?
Distractions are the enemy of productivity. Go to distractionquiz.com and find out your distraction profile. Are you a time zombie or a hamster? Take this free distraction quiz today to rate your ability to focus on what keeps you from being a wizard. Go to distractionquiz.com.
So talk more about that, because then I go, oh, that's interesting. Talk more about that. What does that mean? Like not being a good steward?
I could see it in so many ways. One thing I hear a lot about women is, and I'm just going to use this as one example. How many times have you just in your head grumbled and complained about doing laundry at your house? And you go in to do the laundry and you're like, oh my God, it's like Groundhog's Day. It just never ends. We don't love doing it. It's annoying. We'd rather be reading a book or taking a walk outside. But if you backtrack, did you not possibly pray for those children that you have to wash clothes for, that spouse that you have to wash clothes for, those clothes that you wanted in the store at some point? You couldn't wait to put them in the cart. You couldn't wait to bring them home and put them in your closet. You were so excited. And now you have these things that you purposely chose, you purposely asked for, and now you're complaining about it. You're griping about it. You're shredding it. And it's like, you brought that into your world. You specifically did it. And it's funny to keep myself, because I've done it, and to keep myself aware of not doing that, I have this little sign in my laundry room that says "Another Day in Paradise," because I really want to be conscious of the fact that, first of all, I'm lucky I even have a washer and dryer, let alone people
you could be banging rocks together to clean it.
I mean, that's a huge blessing in itself. So I think we have to be careful not to complain and gripe about things that we asked for. But stewardship, I've heard people say, well, I'm going to save that for when I have a bigger house, because when we have a bigger house, we're going to have room for those things and this and that. And I'm just always like, why are you living in the someday and the maybe of a bigger house? Like, why should you own a bigger home if you are having trouble maintaining the one you currently have? I mean, Sometimes it's tough love, but it's true.
Absolutely. And I think it's a really important point about when I talk about this as well, in terms of the attitude and how we show up for our time makes all the difference. It doesn't matter whether you're doing the laundry or you're making dinner, you're working at your desk, you're working with the client, whatever it is, how you show up matters, right? And energy, I was just saying that today, energy is contagious. So like if you're working with someone else or you're setting the example, right? So for your family, like based on how you keep the house, all of that is super important. So I love what you're saying, another day in paradise, or just be grateful of what the because is behind it. You're doing laundry because you have people that you love to take care of. And that's a way to nurture and take care of your family, is by doing their laundry.
Yeah.
It's funny. I never even thought about that. I never complain about doing the laundry. It's not a big deal. You just throw it in. Of course, the folding is another thing, right? That's But that all depends on whether you do that. I let everybody do their own folding. So that's called delegation. That's also good time management.
I love that word a lot. And responsibility. You know how many times I've heard people say, I don't know how to do this stuff, this organizing stuff, because nobody taught me how to do it. And a lot of time, if you look at it, they grew up in a disorganized home, and that's why they really don't know how to do it. Nobody taught them that. And that's why I think it's so important to teach kids the skills of time management and the skills of organizing just as much as it is to teach them how to read and write and ride a bike. Because as a parent, if you don't give them those skills, you're actually someday you have to realize it's going to add more stress to their life. And who wants to have their kids stressed out and overwhelmed?
Right. Well, and where else are they going to learn it? It's not something that they learn at school.
Nope.
They got to learn it at home.
Exactly.
So how do you define time management, right? And productivity as an organizer?
I think tasks, just like stuff, needs a home. And for me, that home is on my schedule. And I have to be the owner of that time, because otherwise somebody else is going to steal it from me. Something else or someone else is going to steal it from me. So I think time is the one thing that we are all given equally. It doesn't matter how rich, how poor, how thin, where you live, who your parents were, nothing matters. Evens out the playing field. It really defines what kind of life you're going to live by how you use your time and what's taking up your time. So I think it's all about being intentional. I mean, it really, really is. The things that we can accomplish if we're intentional with our time are absolutely amazing. So time to me is about being intentional. It's about giving tasks a home. And it's about enjoying where I'm at, not having to always worry. Everybody has this long to-do list. And that's another thing we complain about. We hate the to-do list, but let's be grateful, because as long as we're living, we have a to-do list. Your to-do list does not end until you die. So the sooner we can say, you know what, we're not going to finish it today, but whatever we can accomplish, we have to be okay with that. So time management for me is everything. I would not be where I am today if I didn't know how to organize my time.
I like how you related it really to the principles of organizing, right? That every task has its place and that's on your calendar. I love that. And I think the whole idea of being intentional, because we're in such an impulsive society right now, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to support people in being more intentional in their lives?
I think you have to know your why. You're not going to be intentional if you don't know why you're doing it. You're not going to guard your time if you don't have a why. So for example, I think time goes in seasons. And so for especially business owners, if you are like right now, I'm in this season of finishing my new book. That takes up a lot of time. So I have to guard that time. And the reason why I'm okay with it, the reason why I'm okay with saying yes or no to certain things is does it align with my why right now? This season of my life isn't just about finishing a book. It's also about launching a brand new nonprofit, a brand new conference, putting something out there that is a different way of doing organization. And because I know my why and why I'm going to spend my efforts, my time, my energy, all these things on this, I'm okay with guarding my time. And I think that when you know your why, like here's an example. Say your why is, I want to lose 20 pounds by June. Mm-hmm. You're going to make time in your schedule to go to the gym and work out. You're going to make time for meal planning because you know that goal is part of your main priority right now. So that makes it more motivating to do it. If I ask you, hey, do you want to go to Dairy Queen and eat hot fudge sundaes with me? You probably aren't going to schedule time to do that because of your main goal and your main why.
Right. You have to stay connected to why it's important so that you are putting it in your calendar and really reserving that time for it. I always tell people that's why there's such a thing as date night, right? It's not like you need to be reminded that you need to spend time with your spouse, but if you don't schedule it, it doesn't happen. And then the ultimate consequence can be the cost of your relationship if you're not being intentional and conscious about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
So, I like that concept of seasons of time. So where I'm going with this is around balance, right? Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they love to work and they have these goals that they're working towards and very strong whys. They do work and put in tremendous numbers of hours. And I know and I have gotten criticized for not being balanced. And, I wanted to talk to you about your feeling about balance and also about how that relates to the seasons of time.
Well, for one, when you say balance, I immediately always have a visual of a pie chart. And each of those pieces of the pie have a color. And this is actually how I do my to-do list. They have a color. So in order for me to be balanced, I have to be taking care of my business. I have to be taking care of my health. I have to be taking care of my spiritual well-being. I have to be taking care of my family. And I have to have time for me. That's basically the pieces of my pie. When I look at my schedule and am I missing a color? For me, this is just an example to make this more real for people.
Sure.
Health is green on my calendar. So if I see no green, that means I'm not working out in my devotional in the morning. I'm not going for walks. I'm not doing anything for the inside of, I'm not filling my tank, right? I'm not filling my tank up. So balance is, for me, touching on that, all those colors or all those pieces of the pie chart every single week.
And I think that's the key. It's a week's perspective, not a day. Like, I think people feel like, they shove everything into one day, right? Yeah. I'm also a believer in that it's really over the week you get that balance, not just over one day.
Yeah, because there's days where I don't have time to do my devotional in the morning, or I don't have time to work out because my kids travel for sports. So like this weekend, we have a tournament. I know I give a lot of that time to that, but then there'll be another day where I have to work longer hours. I don't feel guilty because I know I took care of my family within the week. That's how I feel balanced. And I think you have to really know yourself to know what you need to feel balanced and what you need to live your best life. Like for me, it's super important for me to have time with my friends, my girlfriends. They fill me up. It's a big part of who I am. My love language is quality time. I know that about myself. So, but some other people don't need that. So you have to know yourself.
Absolutely.
And you have to know yourself to know when you're out of balance.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. We have gone through so many great topics today, and we're already at the end of our session together. So tell us how we can get a hold of you. You talked about a new book coming out. You talked about an event that you're having. So tell us about that information so people can connect with you further in that context.
Based on the conversation of time management, I think when you're talking about getting your life organized, you always have to break it down into small baby steps. You can't do your whole life in one weekend. So I've written a series of books called Organize Now. They've been out for many years. And this year we are revising the whole entire series. So actually, this is the newest one, just came out this week, Organize Now. This is the new cover.
Awesome.
And follow it up by 2 more, volume 2 and 3. I'm also launching a conference, which is taking place in Charlotte on June 28th and 29th, called the Created Order Organizing Conference. So I want to offer all the listeners today, if they go to my website, jenniferfordberry.com, and you'll see some links at the top. And under ministry, there is a link to the Created Order Conference. And if they put in the code CO20 for the next 48 hours, they can get 20% off any adult ticket. The purpose of the conference, we have an amazing lineup of speakers, and I want people that are feeling overwhelmed to realize they don't have to feel like that anymore. That this is an event that not only are we going to help you recognize what is clutter in your life, we're going to help you eliminate it. We're going to teach you how to get organized. And then we're going to show you that with that new space, time, energy, and money, you can actually start living your purpose. And I believe, and I'm sure you agree, that when you live on purpose, life is so much more fun and exciting. It's just, there's nothing like it. So I want everyone to leave there feeling really fired up about their life and stop being a slave to all of your possessions. Actually be living in an intentional way. So hopefully they'll come down to Charlotte and check it out.
Fantastic. Well, you guys better check that out. So Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. And we'll put all of those links in the show notes. And for all of you listening, make sure that you check those out.
Well, thanks for having me. It was really fun.
Pleasure. So this is Take Back Time. My name is Penny Zanker, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you for listening. Today's topic is another opportunity for you to put the knowledge you learned into practice. Tune in again next week for more strategies that will help you have more energy and focus to get more done in less time, so you can continue to take back time.